I can't tell if this looks like stupid. Does this look dumb? We're just gonna leave it like that. My Christmas mug. There's hot chocolate in it, but I'm not trying to spill it everywhere. Very exciting video today. Hello everyone, welcome back to my booktube channel. I need to make sure I'm centered because in my last video I wasn't. Now I'm centered, I think, right? First up, I got my hair back. I had no braids for like a month and a half and I feel like me again. And secondly, look at my fucking shirt. I love it so much. If you follow me on my TikTok and you watch my TikToks, you'll know how obsessed I am with not only the book, but the show. And not only the show, but the characters. And not just the characters, but the actors who play the characters. My obsession is very well-rounded. That all taken care of. This week's video I have been very excited for months. It is the end of year book tag. I did this on my TikTok last year, but now that I have this channel, we're gonna make a full, long, drawn-out version of it, and I'm really excited about it. So basically, it's just a bunch of like questions slash prompts, and you answer them with the books that you read this year, whatever falls into that category for you. I got this idea from Larry Reads because I get all my ideas from her. I got most of these questions from her. She's done this a few times, so some of these questions might differ from like her most recent or like from her first end of year book tag. It's kind of just like a culmination of just a bunch of random questions that have to do with all the books that I read this year. So let's get started. Starting off on a somber note. The most disappointing book that I read this year. Now, I don't read a lot of books that I don't love, which makes tags like this so incredibly difficult because I basically love every single thing that I read. It's very rare that I rate something lower than like 3.7 to 3.5 stars. It's very rare that I go below that, but I rated this book 2 stars because I did not like it. Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. I was really excited for this book because this is Gareth's story. We get Gareth all throughout Legacy of Gods, but we don't get his story in that series. And this is his story. It's, I believe, one of the first books that starts off Rena Kent's new side to her universe. The first side ends with God of War, with the last book of Legacy of Gods, and then this starts the next side. And I didn't like it. I really wanted to like it because, like I said, I loved Gareth, but he just felt very copy and paste to Killian. He felt like a mix between Killian and Nikolai, and I was just like, I've read about those two characters already, so I don't really want to read about them again, especially when he just didn't live up to the both of them, because those are my two favorite MMCs in the series. So why would I want to read about a copy and paste, like watered down version of them when I can just read about them, you know? And I also felt like the first like 70% of this book was just so much unnecessary back and forth. I did not like it. It follows Gareth, but it also follows Caden, who happens to be Gareth's professor. And usually when it's like a professor-student kind of situation, there's like that forbidden aspect of it. They didn't care about it at all. I was expecting there to be like tension and whatever having to do with like that forbidden aspect of their relationship. There was none of that. Like I said, it was just back and forth the entire like first 65 to 70% of this book, and then the last like 30 was actually kind of crazy, and that's the only reason why this book was 2 stars. I would have given it 1 star if the ending wasn't okay, but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of this book. It really disappointed me because I really wanted to love it because I love Legacy of Gods and I really wanted to love Gareth's character, but I didn't. And I didn't really love Caden all that much either. He felt very boring. Yeah. Next question is underdog book of the year / a book that surprised me. I have the perfect answer for this one, and it is Red Card by Maren Moore. I love this book. I don't know if it's going to be a series or if it is a series. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. I ate this book up. As you can see, I got it as an ARC from Forever Publishing. I was emailing back and forth with them and they sent me the like little tiny blurb of this book. I immediately was like, I want to read that. That was the first book that I was like actually interested in reading from the 2 books that they sent me. I read it as soon as they sent it to me and I finished this book in like less than 24 hours. It was so It's a college rugby romance. It follows Rory and Killian. Killian moves to, I don't remember where. Oh, New Hampshire. He moves from London to New Hampshire to play rugby for this school, and nobody on this team likes him. But Rory is not only the coach's daughter, she's also the equipment manager. She loves, lives, and breathes hockey, rugby. I get so used to reading hockey books that like now everything is hockey to me. She lives and breathes rugby, and the team loves her. So Killian kind of sees this as an opportunity to like, if I get her to like me, then the team will like me. On Rory's end, she's just like, every single guy that I ever tried to talk to or flirt with or anything, they just see me as this rugby girl. Like no one ever wants to like be with me. So she's like, I must be doing something wrong. So she asks Killian to help her figure out where she's going wrong with guys in exchange for helping him out with the team. So I just thought that was so cute. I was like, oh, I love it. I loved it. I loved it. I love it. This book was so good. And like I said, it really surprised me because I had never read anything by Maren Moore, and I will definitely be reading more. Next up is a book that was overhyped. Overhyped to me is kind of like a weird concept because I don't really think that's a thing. If something is overhyped, that just means that like a lot of people like it and they want to talk about it, which you're gonna do if you like something, but that doesn't mean that the book itself is not good. You know what I mean? If a lot of people love it, how are you going to say that they're lying about loving it? You know what I mean? Everything, especially books, media, art, everything like that, it's all subjective. If a lot of people love it, then a lot of people love it. Just because someone else hates it doesn't mean that everybody else who loves it is lying about it. You know what I mean? But however, personally, in my opinion, this book was talked about very highly anywhere that I had seen it, on Instagram, on TikTok, anywhere that you can talk about books. And I personally did not like it. And that was Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. I actually DNF'd this book. I don't even remember how far I got. And I could, as of right now, it's pretty much a hard DNF. Like, I don't see myself picking this book back up and trying it again. But there is like a slight chance that I could. I would say there's like a 95% chance I won't pick it up and a 5% chance that I would, because I do want to read the remainder of the series. The couples that the second and third books are about, I find way more intriguing than these two. I just did not click with Reese and Sadie. I just did not like their characters. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe I just read it at the wrong time and I could potentially pick it back up again and love it. But so many people love this book. So like I said in last week's video when I spoke about this book, still give it a shot if you want to, because like I said, so many people love this book. I just did not like it. I liked the concept of it. Like I liked the plot point. I just didn't like the characters. And when I don't like the characters, that just kind of ruins the plot for me. Like I feel like it's a lot easier the other way around. Like if the plot is not good but you love the characters, that might be a little bit easier to forgive. But if you don't like the characters, then the plot's gonna, who cares about the plot? So yeah, felt a little overhyped to me. That's also not discrediting anyone else's love for this book, because someone else loves this book but I don't like it. That doesn't mean that the person who loves this book is wrong for loving it or lying about loving it. I love that for you, actually. Next up is favorite book couples of the year. I really tried my best not to repeat myself too much in these prompts. I fear that I did end up doing that a couple times, unintentionally, just because there were some scenarios where it was kind of unavoidable. But my two favorite book couples of this year. I actually had a lot, so it was really hard to like narrow this down, but I tried to also make these two couples like drastically different from each other, and that's these two right here. Lexi and Riley, and Cade and Stacy. I haven't said their names in so long because I just like have genuinely refused. Oh my god. Riley and Lexi and Cade and Stacy. This right here, you've seen me talk about Hat Trick a ton. This is the fourth book in the DC Star series. It's also my favorite book in the DC Star series. It's so good. It's like a rehabilitation kind of plot line. The MMC Riley gets injured, and Lexi, who is the athletic trainer, she's tasked with his rehabilitation. He's had a crush on her for years. She kind of knows it, but never really took it seriously. And now that they're spending all this time together, they grow so much closer to each other. And oh, this book was so good. This book was so good. I loved it. I loved it so much. It was 5 stars. And then obviously we have these two hoes right here, Cade and Stacy. I fell in love with them in Insatiable. Oh my god, they're reading. You guys, I can't talk about this trilogy. I really can't. I actually will start crying if I talk about this trilogy too much. One of the other prompts on this tag, I had to go through this book and read my annotations from my Kindle. I was bawling earlier today. I was bawling my eyes out earlier today reading reading quotes from this book. So I genuinely, it hurts so bad to talk about, but I'm gonna try my best to tell you guys the overall plot of this trilogy because it is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly dark romance. So please search up your trigger warnings. Do not take those lightly. In the beginning of every single one of these books, there are trigger warnings. There's ones at the beginning of Insatiable, at the beginning of Voracious, and at the beginning of Restitution. Do not skip that. Because I've seen so much lately that people are getting mad at characters and things that they do in books and plots of books. And I'm just like, the author laid it out for you in the trigger warnings. Just because you chose to skip the trigger warnings doesn't mean that what's happening in the book is wrong. You chose to read it. You chose to read the trigger warnings and not take them seriously, or you chose to not read the trigger warnings. That's on you, fam. So please take the trigger warnings seriously. But Cade and Stacy, they met when they were young. It's like a childhood friends to lovers, to strangers, to enemies, to lovers type of situation. Cade is Stacy's best friend's twin brother. So it was very forbidden in that aspect. So they kept it a secret and they went through so much together and then something happened and they broke up. And where Insatiable starts, it's been, I think, 2 or 3 years since they've even spoken to each other. And the story picks up from there. And I will not tell you anything else. I will not tell you anything else. You get a lot of past present chapters in Insatiable and in Voracious. I'm pretty sure Restitution is like only present time. It's one of the best stories that I've ever read in my life. The two, like, one of my favorite book couples that I've ever read. They are up there with Joey and Aoife, Hannah and Garrett, with Nikolai and Brandon. Like, they are up there. They are in like my top 5 favorite book couples of all time now. I need to remake that video. They just have a love like I have never read about in my life. No matter what, they will never actually fully leave each other. They could never be without each other because of, I can't. We're done. We're done. Favorite main characters of the year. Now this was also very hard because I could very easily include these two right here, but I chose not to. I tried my best. For FMCs, we have these two right here. We have Alexandra Delacroix and Lizzie Young. Like, I've spoken so much about Alexandra lately. I just love her so much. Like I've said in like 3,000,001 videos, she's one of those FMCs who's like so sweet and so nice, but still so like powerful and intelligent, and people severely underestimate her. Ugh, I loved her so much. And I loved her and Zai. They were amazing. I love this book so much. And then obviously we have one of my favorite main characters of all time, Lizzie Young. I'm not gonna lie to you guys know this, but I was a Lizzie hater in the first couple books of Voice of Tommen. In Taming 7, I was so incredibly mad at her. But I also still kept an open mind because I was just like, we have not gotten her story yet, and her story was next. After reading Taming 7, I was like, I know her story is gonna be next, or at least part of her story is gonna be next, so we're keeping an open mind here. And I'm so happy that I did. I was never a Lizzie defender. I was just like, I don't like her, but I'm willing to hear her out. And this book, it wasn't even like a redemption type of situation. It was just like an explanation as to why she is the way she is, why she speaks to people the way that she does, why she reacts to things the way that she does. This book just did it so perfectly to explain her side of everything, and it broke me. It broke me. I love her so much. She's one of the strongest FMCs I've ever read about in my life, and I will take her to my grave. I still need to get a Releasing 10 tattoo. Now moving on to MMCs. These are drastically different because this isn't dark romance, but it is very heavy, and then Heartless Beloved is dark romance. These two, however, are very far from dark romance. Some of my favorite MMCs of the year was Maverick Miller from Face Off and Rewind It Back, Rio DeLuca. We have to talk about this first because I feel like I have not talked about this book nearly as much as I should have been, because this book was the finale of one of my favorite series of all time, Windy City. If you want good sports romance, like not even good, like phenomenal sports romance, read Windy City. You have a variety of sports, you have a variety of different characters and couples, and just they feel like such realistic characters. Like they feel like real people that have real actual human problems and obstacles, and oh my god, this Liz Tomforty is just such an amazing writer. But this book was the end of Windy City, and you anticipate Rio's story from Mile High, which is the first book. And then you get him here, and I just love what she did with his character, because in Mile High, he's seen as like this fun, he's outgoing, he's outspoken, he's seen as a playboy, but he's really not when you read his book and you get to know him. This book follows like an ongoing timeline. So none of the books take place during the same time. So in this book, it's been like a few years since Mile High, like a good amount of time. And he's grown so much. You discover his story, and not just him, but him and Hallie, who's the FMC in this book. That this book is childhood friends to lovers to strangers to lovers. She moves in near him and ends up renovating his home. This is a second chance. And when you read about Rio and like the type of person that he is and the kind of life that he wants for himself, you understand why his story is second chance, you know? Oh, this book was so perfect. I just love Rio so much. I just love what Liz Tomforty did with his character. She just made him so much deeper of a character than people kind of saw him as. Loved it. And then my man Maverick, bro. I love him so much. Do I love Riley with every fiber of my being? Yes. I thought Hudson from Slapshot, actually, which is the third book in this series, I thought he was going to be my favorite. Riley is my favorite, but Maverick is my second favorite. This man, he's the captain of the DC Stars. This is hockey romance. I love his relationship with Emmy, but I just love the kind of character that he is, because he is so incredibly there for his teammates. He is ride or die for his teammates. He waited outside of Hudson's hotel room to accompany him to visit his mother's grave. They both went to bed. Hudson got up in the middle of the night to go, and Maverick was sitting by his door, like, asleep on the floor. Just like, hey, buddy, I was wondering when you were gonna get up. Like, you think I'm gonna let you visit your mother's grave alone? He broke down Miss Emmy's door because she wasn't answering the phone and she wasn't at practice. She had food poisoning or something like that. Broke down her door to get in because she wasn't answering. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love him. Like I said, he's just so there for everybody. Hudson in Slapshot ended up taking Madeline's daughter, Lucy, to the library and asked the team if anyone wanted to come. Maverick was like, absolutely. Absolutely, I want to go. Absolutely, I want to go to the library for story time. I love him so much. He was just such a good friend and a good character. He was just such a good guy. And I loved him because he was another one that was like reformed playboy, but he deep down was like always a good guy. He just had this like promiscuous reputation. So I loved him. Maverick was perfect. This video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry in advance. New favorite author of the year. I'm just gonna say them and we're gonna move on because I shouldn't talk about any of this for too long. But it's Lee Rivers, Maren Moore, and Lola King. Lee Rivers, Edge of Darkness. Maren Moore, Red Card. And Lola King because of North Shore, which is Beautiful Fiend, Heartless Beloved, Delightful Sins. I haven't even read Delightful Sins and Lawless God. And I love Lola King because I just love her writing. Happiest read of the year. These books may not be like happy. We'll have a variety here of like books that were actually happy and books that just made me happy. So I have 3 for this. I have these 3 right here. Spiral, because this is like an objectively happy book. We have Elias and we have Sage, and it's fake dating. He's in the NHL and she's like a struggling ballerina. They set up a little deal with each other to fake date, so that Elias is kind of out of the spotlight a little bit more, and so that Sage can get recognition because he's a famous hockey player. So she's like, I can use your fame and you can use the fact that you have a girlfriend to kind of get you out of the press. I had 0 complaints about this book. Elias was just so perfect. He was a little bit too perfect. She didn't know what kind of flower was her favorite, so he like bought her flowers every week until she found her favorites. There was a house fire in her home, and without hesitation, he was just like, okay, pack up your stuff, you're coming to live with me. Oh my god, they were just so perfect. She did like self-care nights and he was there with her, and like he like let her put a face mask on him and stuff like that. Oh, they were so cute. They were so cute. This book made me so happy. I was like giddy the whole time. For the fans, because this is just one of my favorite books of all time, I was giggling and screaming and kicking my feet and throwing up reading this book the entire time. This book is probably going to be part of the books that I read in January, just because I started rereading it back in September and listening to the audiobook. I'm going to continue listening to the audiobook and rereading and annotating this book in January. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love this book so much. This book just made me so happy. Chiron and Avi eventually found happiness with each other, but they were very... Oh my god, my camera's gonna die. Oh Oh my god, I might have to like take a pause. I charged it all night though. What the hell? Okay, we're gonna film until I can't film anymore. Wait, that's actually kind of scary. My camera's gonna die. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna talk about these books and then I'm gonna go charge my camera. Yeah, this book just made me so incredibly happy. And then Nocticadia. This book is not a happy book. This is what I was talking about when I said this book might not be happy, but it made me happy. This book just gave me such good feelings. It's like a dark gothic, dark academia kind of book. It's set in university, but everything's very dark and mysterious and scary and eerie, and I just love the vibes of this book because I have never read anything like it. I just loved the plot of this book and how the two characters came together in terms of like their stories kind of overlapping and intertwining with each other. This book was just so smart. I just loved every single direction that this book went in. It made me happy. Like I said, the plot itself wasn't a happy, positive, high energy kind of plot, but it gave me good vibes. It gave me good feelings. And this book was actually recommended to me by one of my besties and I loved it. I'm gonna go charge my freaking camera because for some reason it's dying, even though I charged it all night. Maybe I didn't use the right charger because my Kindle charger and my camera charger look exactly the same. So maybe I accidentally plugged in my camera with my Kindle. We're gonna go charge my camera. We're back. For you, it's been like probably 2 seconds, but for me, it's been like an hour. I don't know if I mentioned or if I explained this an hour ago, but I thought I charged my camera last night and I had it charging all night. But my Kindle charger and my camera charger look exactly the same because they're literally just both black cords. And turns out I shoved my Kindle charger into my camera. So it didn't charge all night. So we took a little break. I ate some food. We're drinking an Alani now. And we're back. It's fine. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. The last thing I said was the happiest reads of the year, and that was Spiral for the fans of Nocticadia. We're gonna move on to the most frustrating book of the year. Now, was it the most frustrating book that I read? Yes. Was it also one of my favorite books that I read the entire year? Yes. And that was A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I talk about this book a lot, and for good reason. You know what? I'm going to continue talking about it a lot because it's one of my favorite books that I've ever read in my life. This is one of the most beautifully written books I've ever read in my life as well. I really want to reread it. This book is like poetry. Such gorgeous, gorgeous writing. I love it so much. I even think after I start reading more Candy Steiner, this book will forever remain my favorite. It's about Bea and Jamie, and they basically spend 10 years of back and forth with each other, wanting to be together but never actually being able to, or something going wrong, something getting in the way of them being able to be together, whether he's dating someone, she's dating someone, something is going wrong in like their personal lives. The time just never seems to be right, but you can't help but root for them because of how strong their connection is, and also just how they remain friends. Even there were periods of this book where like they didn't speak to each other for like a year, 2 years, whatever, but like they still had that connection. And especially when they were young, they were like best friends, mainly because they liked each other. They were best friends, so like you couldn't help but see that connection on top of their romantic connection. I love this book so much. I need to reread this book for, again, another one of these prompts. This was a book that I incorporated in the prompt, and I was dying inside from reading parts of this book because this book will forever be one of my favorites. It's so good. Next book was the saddest book I read this year, but the saddest book I read this year was Releasing 10 and Restitution, and I didn't want to include that again, so we're just gonna skip over that one. Best adaptation of the year. So like this is like book to movie, book to show. I don't watch those very often, mostly because the TV shows and movies that are based off of books are ones that I haven't read yet. But bruh, this right here, I read this book specifically because I saw the show was coming out. And I don't know what it was about it, but I was just like, I want to read that. So I read it, and you know what? I loved it. Oh my God, I loved it. Heated Rivalry, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Even though I mentioned it in the beginning of this video when I showed you guys my shirt originally. But I love the book. I love the show. In my personal opinion, I think the show was better than the book. but the book is still phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. It's the characters and the people that the actors they chose to play these characters, they are just so perfect. This show is phenomenal. And I think that even if you don't like the book, you would like the show. I saw recently Larry Reed's, she's not watching this, but she did not like Heated Rivalry. She actually DNF'd it. She might go back to it at some point, who knows. But the book right off the bat is very spicy because these two have like a physical relationship with each other, and feelings, like romantic and emotional feelings, grow from that. Very like spice first, emotion later. And if that's not your thing, then it might take you a little bit of time to get into the book, and that's what she wasn't in the mood for. She wasn't in the mood for spice first, romance later, so she DNF'd it. And now she's watching the show, which makes me so happy because, like I said, I think that if you don't like the book, you would still like the show because the show is so good. So give Heated Rivalry a chance if you really want to love it, but maybe the book just wasn't for you, or you couldn't get into the book, or whatever. First of all, I would say give the book another shot when you're more in the mood for it, but also watch the show. Heated Rivalry though. Heated Rivalry. We're getting a season 2, guys. I think we're getting a season 3 actually. We're getting a season 2 and 3. The only downside is that I saw on Instagram the other day that the writer of Heated Rivalry literally said that season 2 probably won't come out before 2027. So that means I'm gonna have to wait 2 whole years for this damn show. Maybe not 2 years, probably like a year. But like still, a year nonetheless. I'm gonna have to survive. Oh my god, my freaking light just died. Why is everything dying, bro? What am I... I knew this was gonna happen too. That's the crazy thing, is that I was like, my camera was dying, and then my computer started dying. I was like, now my light's gonna die. I swear to God, I'm clairvoyant. I'm a witch. I'm psychic. Let me see. It won't last. I know it won't last. I don't have... Okay, another break. Another pause. I need to find another light. I think I have one somewhere. It's just going to be kind of annoying. But we'll be back. Okay, this is what we're going to have to deal with. I had to bust out my giant ring light from before when I had my YouTube channel in my dorm room. I think that might be better than just the ring light. So we're gonna leave my main light on. I never have that thing on ever because that's gross. But I think this is better. So anyway, Heated Rivalry. Yeah, I'm gonna yap I've already been yapping everyone's ear off about it on my TikTok. I haven't really spoken that much about it here. I haven't spoken about it at all here really. But just know that I'm obsessed with it, clearly. I know I'm upset that we're not gonna have a season 2 for a very long time, and then who knows when we're gonna get season 3 and what season 3 is even gonna be about, because it kind of makes sense that there's a season 2 because the 2 main characters have 2 books. Maybe they're gonna include like the other couples in the series within the next 2 seasons. I don't know. Why is everything going wrong today? Like, it's Christmas, everything is supposed to be nice. Now I have crazy background noise. First my camera dies, then my computer dies, then my light dies, and now there's background noise. Like, what are we doing? Jeez. Okay, next up is the cringiest book I've read this year. Now, I wouldn't really necessarily say this book is cringy, but it kind of was just a little, and it wasn't like my favorite book of the entire year, and that's Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I mean, this book isn't bad, but it is definitely a lot of people's least favorite in the series, and I definitely agree with that. I definitely liked it more than I thought I was going to, but I still didn't like it all that much. This book is like, it's like a fake fiance kind of situation. It's age gap, and I usually don't mind an age gap, and like the age gap in this book isn't really what I had a problem with. I don't know. It was just at certain times the way that the MMC talked about the age gap, I was like, I don't really know. And certain things that the FMC said sometimes was just like a little, I was like, girl, you gotta reel that shit in. This book was not really all that good for me. Unpopular book you loved. I also didn't have an answer for this because all the books that I read are popular. Now, I have popular books that I didn't love. That's easy. But unpopular books that I loved, I don't really have a thing for that, because I can't really say Heated Rivalry anymore because of how popular that is because of TikTok. I could say Red Card, but would be a repeat. Red Card definitely deserves more hype than it has because that book is phenomenal. So I could say that, but that would be a repeat. I'm gonna say it just like on the side. Favorite quotes of the year. Now this was the prompt that made me want to cry. So I have some written down and I also have one on my phone that I'm gonna save, not for last, but like, we're gonna start with the one that's gonna make me cry the least, and that's the one from Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. I read this book a couple months ago and I actually really enjoyed it. I was really happy that I liked it because like I said, I read Kiss the Villain before that and I didn't love Kiss the Villain. So I was very happy that I liked this book. And there's one quote from it that actually was really good. I really loved it. And it was, "You've conquered me, body and soul, Dahlia. I don't know what love is or whether or not it's real, but if it exists, you're its definition for me." So good. And then I have one from A Love Letter to Whiskey. There's so many quotes, but like I physically could not go through this book all the way through without wanting to die. But I just know that one of my favorite quotes from this book was Jamie, who is the MMC, talking to the FMCB, and he just said, "We can be friends, B. Please let me be your friend." Like that already, they already liked each other, but they couldn't be together yet. So he was just like, "Just at least let me be your friend." Oh my god, I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love this book, man. I can't fully explain how much I love it. Just go read A Love Letter to Whiskey. And then we obviously have the two books that just about ruined my livelihood. Should I even read? I'm going to, because you know what? I put myself through this pain earlier. So we're gonna do the Releasing 10 ones first. Going through I tabbed this book. So I was going through my tabs. I got like 100 pages in to my tabs and I couldn't keep going. So all of the quotes that I have are from those first 100 pages. So the first one is, oh, this one was Huey talking about Gibbsy. It was, "We might not have the same parents, but Gerard Gibson was my brother." I just love them. I love the friendships in Boys of Tommen so much. "She sort of resembled a ghost or an angel, something different, something special." This was like baby Huey. They were like 7. Oh my god. "I don't think I like you, Lizzie Young. I know I do." Y'all, I'm not okay. When I get to the ones from Restitution, I will cry. And then obviously, no matter what, that is like the iconic saying from, like, each of these couples have like a phrase and that's theirs. Theirs is "no matter what." Okay, and now we have Edge of Darkness. Real quick, we have Edge of Darkness. They're like sprinkled throughout the 3 books, but the majority of them are from Restitution, just because Restitution is obviously my favorite. "She's like my own sunrise. It's like a mixture of love and not being able to breathe unless she's around." Cade Mitchell's a poet. Oh my god, my favorite quote though, I have this written down, is "You die, I die." That was what Cade and Base would say to each other. "You die, I die." That's something that I would get tattooed on me for Edge of Darkness, but again, I don't want too many more words or quotes, so I need to think of something like an object or something to get tattooed on me for this series. But if it were to be words, it would be "You die, I die." And then, oh my god, my favorite quote, the one that I think about all the time, it's not even a favorite because it makes me happy, it just makes me so incredibly sad. It's the one where Jason is talking to Cade after he like ran out into the woods, and he said to Cade, "You're with us, Cade, not there. They can't hurt you anymore. Say it." And then Cade says, "They can't hurt me anymore. They can't hurt me anymore. No, they can't." Say it again. Oh my god. Thinking about all the feelings that I had reading this book in particular, Restitution in particular, I was bawling my eyes out reading this book. Oh my god, it gives me such chills. Like I have chills running through my entire body right now. I can't possibly explain how much I love Edge of Darkness, how much I love Cade and Stacy, how much I love Cade, how much I love Stacy, how much I love the plot of this entire trilogy. I can't, bro. Like I can't. My eyes are wet. We're done with that. We're moving on. Next up is a book with a unique concept. And for me, that was Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I read this book before I started my channel, so I haven't talked about it on here. But this book, it was such like a fun plot line. It's basically about this woman, Allie. She's a trauma nurse. And one of her like guilty pleasures is Oh, my stomach. One of her guilty pleasures is like watching TikToks of like masked men, like the book talk like ghost face trend, like when that was happening, like that kind of thing was her thing. That was her guilty pleasure. And she had a favorite content creator, and her favorite creator was our MMC Josh. Now Josh was like, he was really smart. He was like a hacker by day, masked content creator, book guy by night. He like moonlighted as a masked man on TikTok. And I think like randomly one day he like found her comment, went down a rabbit hole, and became obsessed with her. So this is like obsessed. It's a little bit of stalking. It's like, but it's also like really lighthearted and funny. The audiobook is really good. I listened to the audiobook. This book was so good to me because I was just like, it was just such a fun concept. I also honorable mention is Heartless Beloved, just because the plot twists in that book was actually so crazy that just like the overall concept, it was just so good. It was so good. The last prompt that has to do with like physical books is books or a book that I would reread. Now, there's a lot of books that I would love to reread in my collection, but I don't ever have time to. So I could literally say so many of these books. I would obviously say A Love Letter to Whiskey. I would say Hat Trick. I would want to reread Edge of Darkness, but I genuinely don't think I could for my sanity. There's a lot of books that I would love to reread, but from the ones that I read this year, I loved these two, and these are ones that like I could actually see myself rereading because of how much fun I had with them. And that is Power Play and Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath. Oh, there's that. Oh my god. Anyway, Power Play by Chelsea Gurdo. This is my second favorite book in the series. Overall, plot-wise, this book was my second favorite after Hat Trick. Piper and Liam, I just loved their dynamic. I loved Piper so much. She was another one like Alex from Heartless Beloved, who was just so nice and so sweet, but still so strong and intelligent and capable. And I just loved that. I loved Piper. She was my favorite part of this book. And like I said, I just loved her dynamic with Liam because they were so grumpy sunshine. And to my core, I'm a grumpy sunshine girl. I love it so much. It just shows that you can be so drastically different from your partner and still have like common ground and be able to love them so unconditionally. I love this book. This book, I had so much fun reading this because it was another fun concept where it was like a teach me kind of thing, because Piper is divorced and she's like, eventually I'm gonna get back out there, so like I'm not gonna know what to do with guys in terms of like the bedroom. So I'm gonna ask the quiet, reserved, grumpy, goalie Liam to teach me because I feel safe with him. And he's had a crush on her and been obsessed with her for years, so he says yes because duh. And I love their dynamic. It was so cute. And then we have Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath. This was another really fun book. I had such a good time. This is a wide shoes. It follows Poppy. We have Poppy and we have Piper. But this one follows Poppy, Lucas, and Colton. And I just love the individual dynamics between the three of them and then how they came together as a couple. And I also loved this book. This was one of those books that had, or this one of the series that had overlapping timelines. Unlike Windy City, where like every book took place after each other, this book and Pucking Wild, which is the second book, they kind of overlapped a little bit in terms of time, because there's moments that you see that happened in this book that you saw from different characters' points of view in the book before this one. So I love that kind of concept. The same thing happens in God of Fury. God of Fury, oh my god. Brandon and Nikolai's story was happening the whole time in Legacy of Gods, and we didn't see it until the fifth book. Oh gosh. This book is another hockey romance, just like Power Play. It's hockey. Poppy is the PR manager for the Jacksonville Rays. That's what the series is called. That's what the team is called. She is the PR manager, and Colton and Lucas are both players. Colton and Poppy have like a very cutesy relationship. Like they've always kind of been attracted to each other and wanted to like, oh my god, what is going on with my stomach? Everything's happening at once. Yeah, they kind of have that like that secret crush on each other kind of relationship. I just thought it was so cute. And then Poppy and Lucas kind of have that I love you but I hate you kind of relationship, because obviously Poppy is the PR manager for the team and Lucas is the one that's always getting into trouble. So she's kind of like having to clean up his messes all the time. So they have that kind of dynamic between the two of them. And then Lucas and Colton are very different to each other. Like Colton is super sweet. He has like a great family system and stuff like that. And then Lucas is the exact opposite of that. But they're still best friends. Like they balance each other out so perfectly. And the whole dynamic was just so good. I loved it so much. This is a book that I would definitely reread because of how much fun I had while I was reading it. I was like giddy and kicking my feet the whole time. I just love this book so much. And I haven't read it in so long. I want to say I read this book in like February. So it's been a while since I've read it, and I would love to reread it just to like be back with these characters. Pucking Around, which is the first book, is still my favorite, but this one is a very close second. And now, moving on to the last couple of prompts. The first one is reading goal reflection plus Goodreads reading goal. Now, obviously, I made a whole video last week about what my goals were for 2025 in terms of reading and what my new goals for 2026 are going to be. So go watch that video if you want to see it. But basically, there was a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do for 2025 in terms of reading, and I think I achieved a good amount of them. The only one that I failed on miserably is finishing series that I've started, but it's okay. We have recycled it for 2026, so that's part of my 2026 reading goals. And just my overall Goodreads goal will be 50 books, just like it was for this year. But I'm actually gonna, I'm always gonna try. I'm never gonna take it too seriously because it's just a fun thing that I like to do. I don't really put too much pressure on it. My Goodreads goal is 50, just like it was for 2025. Yeah, so that's that. The last prompt, last thing, this video took me like 3 hours to film because of how much was going wrong. What are you prioritizing when it comes to reading next year? Now, obviously, as I've said 3,000,001 times in the last 30 seconds, I made goals for next year, but I'm going to prioritize specifically, like top priority list, finishing my started series, as well as finishing books that I've soft DNF'd, and reading books that I have and not buying as many. Because, and if I do want to read a book super badly that I don't have already, I'll read it on my Kindle or make sure it's on Kindle Unlimited, because I am a bookaholic. I love just having books, not even as trophies, but like they're just art to me, and I just love having them in my space, that I can kind of sometimes prioritize that over actually reading them. And then I have so many books and I haven't read half of them, and I'm just like, I still feel like I need more books somehow. So I'm going to actually put myself on a buying ban. There's 2 books that I want to buy just because I need them as part of series. I want to get Sweet Venom and I want to get Sinbin. And obviously I'm going to get the remainder of the books in the series, but I am also going to mostly prioritize the books that I already do have physically that I haven't read yet. So like the rest of Addicted Calloway, I have the Ruinous Love trilogy, I have Devil's Night, I have, what else do I have? I have Web of Silence duet, I have Lauren Asher's Lakefront Billionaires, I have The Losers duet, I have so many Kennedy Ryan books, I have so many Anna Huang books, I have Devil's Backbone, like I have so many series and like trilogies and duets and stuff like that that I need to read that I just have not read yet. I have what is that series called? The Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack. I need to read the books that I have and stop buying so many. That's my main priority for the entire year, is just to cut back on how many books I buy, or at least balance out the frequency from buying and reading, because I feel like I buy way more books than I read, so I need to fix that. So yeah, that is it. This video was actually insane. This is gonna be a bitch to edit, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Because I'm pretty sure I filmed for like an hour before I realized that my camera was dying. And my camera's already dying again. It's already halfway charged. Like, I see you right there in the corner. But anyway, we're done. We are done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this insanity. But I had a good time. It was fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know some of your answers to these prompts. Tag me if you end up doing this situation, this tag. Like I said, I got these questions from Larry Reads. I will tag her. She won't see this, but I will still tag her. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing rest of your day or night or whatever time of day it is where you are. For me, it's literally 3 p.m. I started filming, I want to say at like 12 something, maybe 1. It's 3 p.m. I love you all so much. And Merry Christmas. I'm filming this video on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas, all of you. I love you all so much. Bye bye.